I
Sir.
think being born in India is a gift.
Sure, sir.
Sure, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So I like the way you delivered with passion. You brought both the positives and the negatives.
Yeah,
The way
because,
you had
sure, sir.
said,
Yes,
and I think that was one thing that made us feel as if we have traveled with you. So when you said you met so and so, etc., it was the flow was excellent. The structure that you had given to the entire presentation was very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My question to you is, you got a huge youth audience here
Yeah.
who also might feel that India is not good.
Sure.
Okay.
Of course, yeah.
So what 2 or 3 motivational messages you would like to give in this forum?
Yeah, of
Because
course,
you talked about yourself most of the time. I would like you to talk from the youth angle.
Actually, it doesn't work. I tried talking to my friends. When I talk about India, you know what they do? They just mock at me. She'll be always talking about India, India. She'll act as if she's so patriotic. But it just doesn't work. All my friends, they just want to leave India and live in an unknown country with tongue twister names. So they think that living in another country is pride. Of course, it's not. Living in our own country, you know, it gives a lot of pleasure. You can say, I live in America, I live in Australia, I'm so and so and all that. But inside, that person will definitely feel he'll be missing home actually. India is home, of course.
Okay. So my request to you is, now that you have the content with you, think about the challenges that people might throw up and create a script for you which will display India in a solution perspective. See, instead of talking from a problem perspective, people say, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this, there's corruption, there's anything, whatever, right? What if you are able to have the same kind of a speech from a solution perspective?
And that's what I'm telling you, sir. It just doesn't work.
No, I want you to look at it, because that is what is lacking in most of the youth now. Because we take it for granted when certain things are said negatively.
Sir, but each one of them has the solution within them, sir. No
Absolutely,
use of
I agree.
talking. They just want, I mean, they just...
So
it's-
let me give you a solution for all this,
Sure,
right?
sir.
So whenever people are in discussion with you and you are not able to get anywhere, now this is for everyone. Instead of telling them certain things, ask questions. Okay? So when you ask questions, you will clearly know what they have in their mind. When you speak, you say what is in your mind, but when you ask questions, you will get to know what is in their mind and then create a solution perspective. Are you clear
Definitely,
with
sir,
this?
definitely. Sure,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good being, I am also proud to be Indian. All of us are proud to be Indian. Good.
Thank you so
Only
much.
one question to you.
Sir.
After completion of your graduation,
Sir.
if you get an opportunity in India or in any abroad, a Western country, which one will you choose?
Of course, of course, I'll be choosing India. I will never go out of this country, and I don't want to lie. I actually want to become a writer, and I want to talk about India, write about India. And when I talk about India, I feel so passionate, and I just don't have words to express. And if each one of us feel like me, then of course our country will go somewhere. So I don't want to be emotional, but this is what I'm saying. I don't want to lie. I want to become a writer, and
Yeah, good speech, Shruti.
thank you so much, sir.
And if at all, you getting a short term to explore other countries, so you will go or not.
I don't get you, sir.
If at all, you getting an opportunity to travel
Sure,
couple of months.
we can tour other countries, but you have to come back to India. India is home, of course.
Okay.
You have to see the beauty of every nation. Every nation is beautiful, of course. But after seeing everything, you have to come back here, because India is home. That's what I keep saying.
Okay.
You can't live there. You can just stay for some months, no problem, but you have to come back here.
But one thing, always know, even for the John's question as well,
Yes, sir.
you keep on saying, you are not, the others are not in being in India, and I mean your friends. And I mean, that is something I feel, you pretty much too much gone into your mind, that you are the only one, bit passionate, not others.
Yes.
And I think that is a mindset, you have. And maybe I would request you to have a change around it. I mean, it is not necessarily, only you have that way. Others also, not in all aspects, they will have a view that, they don't like or they like only to other countries. In certain aspects, there might be, certain pros they will look for and certain cons. And maybe, that you can open up the discussion in putting a lot of attributes. And that way, you can show that in certain attributes, India is better. And that way, convincing perspective, it's not about convincing, but wholly people should be aware that, okay, so things are happening. And goodness and all those aspects.
So actually they know India's goodness. If I ask them to come here and talk about India, they'll just talk very nicely. They can just talk, but they won't feel it. They just want to, go out of here, and that's actually that's what stays in their mind. But when you ask them to talk about India, of course they'll talk. They know everything, but they just won't feel it, and they just won't implement in their life.
Okay then.
Shruti, my only question is,
Sir.
almost 90% of the Indians will like to live in India, but they want to earn outside India.
Sir, I don't get you, sir.
They want to earn outside India. For example, tomorrow, assuming that your parents are getting marriage to you, and the boy is settled in America.
I won't marry him then. Of course I won't.
One question.
Sir.
Again, the boy wants to come back after 45 years to India.
Okay.
In that case, what will be your answer? You come and stay here, after 45, we'll settle in India.
No, I want to stay in India. I can't live in another country.
That is what he is
I
also
won't
telling.
work for another country. I won't pay tax for another country. If I do something, it will only be for my nation. They are not coming here and settling, so why do we have to go and settle there? They are not coming here at all. Not even one American. Not even one American. I want to go and settle in India. It's such a beautiful country. They won't say that. But why are we saying that? Having so much moist in our country, why do we have to go and live in a dry country? I'm not saying something wrong about the other countries, but I'm just proud to be an Indian.
Yeah, the thing is, everybody who settled outside India, they wants to come back to India after a period of some time. So it's not a question of they are not having more patriotism than Indians are not like that. My only thing is the brain drain, as some of your this thing rightly said. See, normally between the age of 30 to 45, that is the peak period where everybody works on scientific this thing, development, everything. So during that stage, they are working for other countries. After that, getting all the money, they want to come back to India. How you are seeing that?
It's I should say I should call it selfish, of course. If you want to earn the money and do nothing for what made you earn the money, then it's of no use.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shruti Priya. We'll call the next contestant, DJRAG 4262208892, the reference number.
Check. So, hello ladies and gentlemen. Are you all here with me? This is the last talk of the day. One more is still there. Okay, fine. Sorry for that. Okay. We are almost to the end of this competition. So, yeah. So, are you all here with all your energy? Okay, fine. Now, when I said good morning for the first time, how many of you heard me with all your mind and soul and gave attention to it? A few of you responded. I could hear a few of you respond. But now, if I say again that I have a golden pen here and I'm going to give it to the one who gives the best good morning of this day, almost everyone here would be shouting for it. Because it's a golden pen. Actually, it's not. But if it is. So, what makes you respond? It is the trigger here which I give. The trigger here which I gave was the golden pen, for which you all would have responded. Now, my question to all of you here is, at what level do you play the game of your life? I said the game of your life. I say life is a game. On a scale of 1 to 10, if you had to say at what level do you play the game of your life? If you say level 10, well and good, you can achieve anything. If you say you play the game of your life at level 4 or level 5, then you will get only level 4 from your life. My question to all of you here, how many of you give level 10 to your life? Very few of you, or maybe I can say no one here. All of you here are almost engineering students sitting behind. Now, before we prepare for exams, even before we start preparing, we decide, oh, I need to get only 70% of marks. I need to get only 80. We study for what? We study for 70 or 80%. And what does it turn up? We get 65 or 55%. We get lesser than what we expect. We prepare for 70%, we expect 80 or 90%, which doesn't happen. So, now, if you had to work for whatever you can, you could have given the best you can. It wasn't you, it wasn't your teacher who asked you, you should get only 70%. It was you who decided your level. It was you who decided at what level you're going to play your game of your life. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't give the best, you don't get the best. Because what you give is what you get, and what you get is what you deserve. Now, when we don't give our best, what happens? We don't succeed. Or in other words, I can say, we fail. We fail. We fail with our goals. And what happens after we fail? What happens after we fail? We start blaming. We start blaming whom? Our luck. Oh, I wasn't so lucky. That's why I couldn't do it. We say, we blame our situations. Oh, someone close to me had passed away. That's why I couldn't do it. We blame our health conditions. We keep blaming. But blaming, has it given you the best? Has it motivated you? No, blaming doesn't motivate. It depends on how you see it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I ask you all, think of one most difficult situation which you have faced in your life. Think of just one difficult situation which you have faced in your life. It may be anything. I may not know. It might be something you would have been betrayed by someone. You could have lost someone. You would have been out of money or something. I may not know. But think of one difficult situation which you have faced in your life. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the present, what happened after that? What happened after that? Did you all bounce back with the force with which you were pulled down? Or did you say, oh, this is not my level, I need a break? Was that your attitude? If you bounce back with the force greater than with which you are pulled down, you can achieve success. Now what if I say, I have a glass bowl in my hand. I throw it onto the wall. What happens to the glass ball? It breaks, it shatters. Now what if I say, I take an apple and throw it onto the wall? What happens to the apple? The apple gets hurt. It falls down. Now, what if I say, I take a cork ball into my hand and throw it onto the wall? The cork ball will bounce back. It will bounce back. Now, what if I say, I throw a ping pong ball? I hope you all know what a ping pong ball is. What if I say, I throw a ping pong ball onto the wall? That will bounce with a force greater than that of a cork ball. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the 4 different stages with which you can respond to the pullbacks of your life. It depends on how you see your life. It depends on how you play the game of your life. So, ladies and gentlemen, now the question comes, what can be done to improve the game of our life, to improve the level at which we play the game of our life? Can it be improved? Yes, it can be. I can say definitely it can be. How is the question now? First thing you have to do is you should stop blaming. You should stop blaming your situations, your health conditions, your luck, whatever. You should stop blaming. Because when you find excuses, you will not be able to move forward. You will be pulling back yourself with the excuses you give. The second thing I would say, you should take up responsibilities. You should work for whatever you need. Because no one else can do it for you. So you should take responsibilities in whatever you do. Now, when I came to this college, I saw APJ Abdul Kalam's photo everywhere. Do you think that man hasn't faced pullbacks in his life? Do you think that man hasn't faced any difficulties in his life? No. Even he has faced difficulties in his life. Every single person who rises has faced difficulties in their life. What he did when he faced all those pullbacks, he was continuously committed. He was committed to what he wanted to do. He never pulled back himself. So if you want to achieve success, if you want to play the game of your life at level 10, that is the maximum of whatever you can, you need to be committed continuously. You need to give your commitment continuously despite your pullbacks. Now, I want to ask you all a simple question. How many of you here know Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi? Raise your hands, yes or no? Yeah, a few of you haven't raised your hands. I guess they haven't seen the Indian currency notes. Well, apart from that, how many of you here know Mahatma Gandhi? Raise your hands. Everyone says it's the same person. But what if I say they are not the same person? Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi belonged to a rich family. He went to England first, he became a barrister, he came back to India. He didn't succeed in India as a barrister. He went to South Africa, and then we all know what happened there, the incident of his life. He was sitting in a first-class compartment train, and he was thrown out of the train saying that he did not deserve to be in a compartment like that. And then, ladies and gentlemen, then he decided, you threw me out of your train, I'll throw you out of my country. And then he became a Mahatma. Ladies and gentlemen, you can all put your hands together for him. Now, you will say that he was a great person. We are not so great. Now what if I can prove it to you in the next 60 seconds that everyone sitting here has a Mahatma in you? Everyone sitting here has a Mahatma in you. Answer the simple question to yourself. Will you let your child die of hunger? No, certainly not. Why? Because you'll say you love him. You'll say it is your responsibility. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are so committed that you can have that kind of continuous commitment to not let your child die of hunger, you have a Mahatma in you, and you can play the game of your life at level 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my wrap-up. And again, if you ask me, who are the other people who play the game of your life, of their life at level 10, ladies and gentlemen, it's your parents, it's your mother, or it's your father, who do whatever they can, who do the game of their life at level 10 to give you the best. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
But I'm just trying to connect what you had in your mind and how you wanted to share that to us. I can understand that leading a life, pulling back, all that, but I think many of us would have missed what you really had in your mind. It was like too many things you were groping around and all that. It's just that.
Yeah, actually, I had to cut down a few things to cover everything in 10 minutes of gap.
I think you talked more from a perspective of having your self-confidence high,
Yes,
so
sir.
that you're able to play your game of life at a higher gear. Am I right?
At level 10, I said.
Level
yeah.
10. Okay, right. So you mentioned about that, the four things being thrown on the wall.
Onto the wall, yes.
Okay. So you were talking about glass ball, apple, cork ball, and if
Ping pong ball.
ping pong ball, right? So how do you encourage your students here, your youth here, your colleagues here, to play it on the highest level? What are the one or two things that they must do, and what are the one or two things they should not do? Because you talked about blaming, no excuses, all that I got it. But
Yes,
is
sir.
there anything else you would like to give?
See, basically, I would say a human brain is designed to accept both the positives and negatives. Whenever you face a trigger that whatever can push you up, you see it in two different perspectives. One part of your brain would say that yes, I've got a new trigger, I can achieve more height, and yes, I can do it. And the other part would say, oh, there's one more trigger, I need a break, I'm tired. If you get tired so soon with whatever you have achieved, you're not going to be successful. As you all say, Bill Gates is successful. If you want to be someone who is known throughout the world and you're satisfied with less, how is that even possible?
Okay, so if I have been a person who's playing the glass bowl every day till today, and I want to get to playing the ping pong from tomorrow, you are talking about the Mahatma also, where you
Yes.
talked
Yeah.
about the transformation
Yes, sir.
from the earlier Mahatma to a new Mahatma, correct? And you
Yes.
said it is possible, and you connected with various examples.
Yes, sir.
So what are the things that I should do? See, as a student, you look at it from a youth perspective, because the reason I'm saying is that transformation can happen only internal.
Yes,
See,
definitely.
any kind of advice will not help. So what is it that I can do, a person of your age can do from tomorrow onwards, to make things better for their life and get into this higher gear of 10th gear? Okay?
Yeah. As an individual, we all face failures in our life. So, if you think that you have attained a failure and sit at the same level, you can't achieve the level 10 which I'm talking about. You have to learn from your mistakes. Now, if I say everyone here has got to make 100 mistakes of life, and you should be committed that you will not make the same mistake again. I make one mistake, you don't make any mistake. Who's leading? I have 99 left, you have 100 left. Who's leading now? Because here I say I have made a mistake and I have learned something which I will not repeat. You have to learn something from your mistakes. And you should make sure that you don't repeat it again in your life.
Yeah, it's a good speech, Sirak.
Yes,
And,
thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to add on to whatever John stated. So his point is, what do that we can make a difference, how we can make a difference from a youth perspective, student perspective, right? Yeah. So on that perspective, when you say there is a trigger and things, right? So there are two aspects to it. One is the conscious and unconscious, because that is what plays overall, in terms of game of life.
Yes, sir.
And because consciously something, we know, and there are certain unconscious
Yes,
that will
definitely.
try to pull you down, right? So that unconsciously, we have to embed certain things, and to bring, if there is a negativity in the unconscious level, so unless you remove it, and so you cannot play the game well, right?
Yes.
And so have you thought anything about it? Unconscious and conscious. There are a lot of talks and thoughts and books around it.
Yeah. So there are two parts of brain. One is conscious and another is subconscious. Now you cannot train your brain to respond subconsciously in one day. It is something which you learn throughout your life. It is something which you learn from whatever you do into your life. If you stay positive throughout your life, consciously and automatically, that subconscious mind inside you will always trigger positiveness within you. If you say that you have got to see only the negatives, now what if I say this whole wall, this whole ceiling is white, and I throw black ink over there? Everyone's eyes will go and see that black ink, because that's a spot over there. No one is going to appreciate the whole white wall. We have to see things differently. We have to see whatever we see should be perceived in a positive perspective. Now, if we get low marks in exam, are we satisfied? Some of us say, oh yes, I'm satisfied with this. I just passed. I just gone through the exam. Now, how many of you here would be saying that, why did I get this mark? What was my mistake in this? And how many of you here would take steps to correct yourself so that you don't commit your mistake, you don't commit that same mistake next time? You have to bring in that kind of attitude in you.
Yeah. Thanks, Chirag.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chirag. We'll call the final contestant, Ms. Sharana Fatima, reference number 4262220101.
Afternoon, one and all. Good. So we have heard endless speeches, 9 contestants, and all of us are almost saturated with words. So whatever I speak now, nothing of it is going to go into your brains. So there's one small activity for you all. Can you please get up? Not the jury members, the rest of the crowd. Can you please, for me? Good. Wake up. Good morning, good afternoon, everything. Clap your hands 3 times, thrice. Thrice. Thank you so much. Now be seated again. I'm happy that all of you are awake now. So, decades back, women of my community wearing the same dress weren't allowed to express their thoughts. They weren't allowed to dream. They weren't allowed to envision their dreams. Decades later, standing behind this very dress, I am here before you all to project my thoughts, to project my ideas, to give voice to my dreams, for which I am very thankful to the Almighty and to the members of ICT-SCT. Thank you so much, everyone. Life is not always fair. Look, for example, in this hall, we contestants are giving our life out and speaking, and who gets tea, water and snacks over here? It is we who deserve it. It is we who are in the ultimate need of it. But you judges, relaxed, you get all the amenities. That is what happens with life. You don't always get what you need. So, many a times in life, we are too much for something. Too tired, too broken, too cheated, and eventually too upset, that we decide to draw the curtains and go back into our cocoons. But when this happens, I want you to realize that this is not the time to go back into your cocoons. This is rather when the real showtime begins, to find hope where there seems to be absolutely no way at all. This is not a serious talk, okay? I'm here to speak my heart out. This is something I'll tell my kids tomorrow. This is something I want every one of you to hear. Because words can transfer energy back and forth. They can amplify energy back and forth. And that sort of amplification is something I'm expecting from a crowd like this. All of us have encountered setbacks in the past. We have made mistakes. There are so many people who tell us to do what we gotta do, but there's no one who tells us what not to do. And I am here to tell you what you shouldn't do. Your past is just a story, and once you realize this, it has no power over you. At any moment of time, we all have the power to tell that this is not how the story is going to end. Just the way in a game of boxing, failure is not declared when you fall. It is rather declared when you refuse to fight back. And until you learn to fight your own shadows, you will continue to see them in others. Because the world outside you is only a reflection of the world inside you. And Bible la enna sollirukanga? God said, love your enemies. God said, love your enemies. So I obeyed him and loved myself. Yes, my dear friends, we human beings are our sustainers and our bitterest rivals. It is our choices which make us or break us. And there can be no greater critic in the world than you are to yourself. What I am here to say is that don't be harsh to yourself. You are special. You are worth more than you think you could be. Please be open to all your weirdness, to all your mistakes, and to all your uniqueness, such that you realize who you are. Life is all about perspective, and we are all practically dead if we sit around waiting for someone to validate our existence. The question is, what is the ultimate purpose of existence? Why are we here down on earth? Are we just born to pay bills and die, to live, to get a name, to go back into the grave and be forgotten? Is that all we are here? No, not at all. We are made of something greater than that. We are those culprits who stood at our HOD's office on the 23rd of July with leave letters reading, as he had fever like Nerpada and no one could Nerungada, I couldn't attend my college. Kindly forgive me for that. 20 seconds of insane courage is all what we had. And believe me, that courage will do wonders to you all. Amazing wonders. So, we aren't just born to live and die, as you always said. I believe that we are ghosts riding a meat-coated skeleton made from stardust hurtling through space. Fear nothing. Set goals and set them unachievably high. Shoot for the moon. You may be lucky enough to land there. Even if you miss the moon, you're going to land in one of the stars, which is nothing less lucky. And when you do set your goal, trust your instincts, because they somehow already know what you want to become. And never ever be ashamed of being weird. Let them call you a fool, because when they can't do something, they call you that. Being weird is just a natural side effect of being a bit too awesome. Okay, so there are many setbacks which hold us back from going ahead in life. So let me move to the actual topic. Fear. Fear is an hilarious feeling. A man who fears he will suffer already suffers because he fears. And fear is just an illusion. Let me tell you something, it is not something which exists in real life. Because we look over at the terrace, it is not the height which actually scares us. It is rather that thought which tells us that we may fall from this height which scares us. Similarly, darkness is not something we're afraid of. Darkness is just a mere absence of photons. It is rather those thoughts which encircle our mind during darkness and those demons we imagine under our bed during darkness which scares us. Similarly, failure is not something we got to be afraid of. It is those parts of a soul which are vulnerable to people's reactions which we are scared of. Like, imagine you were stuck on an island and all you had to do was to build a raft and get out of the damn island. Would you mind if you failed 1,100 times? No, right? You would just want to build a raft and go out of there. But that doesn't happen over here. Why? Because every reaction of ours has an equal and opposite reaction plus a relative circle overreaction. At the end of the day, people calling you a failure or giving you some punches of discouragement are not some cosmic judgment on your being. They are just a byproduct of being alive. People come and go. Some are cigarette breaks while some are forest fires. Though both of them don't stay for long, the extent of damage caused by them varies on a huge scale. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do something, not even me, alright? You gotta dream, you gotta believe it, you gotta nurture it, and you gotta fight for it. Don't ever let people tell you that you can't do something or you are not capable of something. Because in life, if it is meant to be, it will find a way. In love, when a door closes, knock it a few times. If it doesn't open, let it stay closed. When you see the period, please don't turn it into a comma, because it's absolutely okay to move forward. And your goals won't wake up in the middle of the night just to tell you that it doesn't love you anymore. When it comes to career or people, some choose career and some choose people. But I believe that choosing your career is something which is going, I don't mean to tell that you have to shun people after all. Career is something which won't wake up in the middle of the night to tell you that it doesn't love you anymore. And as I said in the beginning, life is all about perspective. The sinking of the Titanic was a huge stroke of luck to the freshly caught lobsters in the sink's kitchen. Who would have thought of it that way? They found their way back home. That girl telling no to your proposal could also be one. Believe that greater, bolder things have been cut out for you. And in the very pursuit, remember it's okay to fall down. This is not the age to make hard and fast decisions. This is the age to make mistakes. If not today, then when? Catch the wrong train and get stuck somewhere. Make as many mistakes as you want. Change your mind and change it again, because nothing ever is permanent. And believe that you can. Swallow that thought which lights a spark in your eyes like a bit of the forbidden fruit, and it will plant into you something wild and strange. And don't ever confine yourself to one corner. I am not from Tamil Nadu. I am not from India. Nor am I from any geographical border. I belong to the entire world. I trace my origin from the entire universe. I am the daughter of the soil. My soil from whom arose APJ Abdul Kalam, Abraham Lincoln, Alexander, Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, and who not? Believe. We do not believe in recycling, but our Mother Earth definitely does. So believe that you are pieces of them put back in different form. Believe that you can achieve the extraordinary. Because I don't want heaps of gold. I don't want the heavens or the shooting stars. I just want hands to hold on to, hands to rise as one. Together we heal and rise, else we crumble, inch by inch, play by play, until we're finished. Believe me, gentlemen and ladies, this is hell what we are living in. But it is our choice to stay here and get the guts kicked out of us, or to rise and find our way to the light. Because I believe when we strive for a common purpose, yogi is attained in a character. When there's yogi in the character, you prosper in life. When you prosper in life, you set your home at peace. When there's peace in the home, a happy environment is created, and millions of such happy environment can create the world we wish to live in. They can create that change we want a future generation to see, and let's all unite for that common cause. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. That's sweet of you, sir. Thank you.
For the wonderful speech.
Thank you, sir.
Who talk about what not to do. One thing about fear. Each and everybody will have fear. How to overcome that fear? If you throw some light on it, that will be useful for others.
On steps to overcome fear. That is what I actually said, sir. 20 seconds of insane courage is something which can do wonders to you. And we are all grown up. We know to recognize the difference between illusion and reality. And we are matured enough to understand that fear is just an illusion. I believe that every one of us over here has to admit the fact that fear is not something which exists. It is something which we build out of ourselves, and we can destroy it to the very root. And as of answering your question, tips to overcome fear, I would tell, do something which you won't dare to do. Like if you were afraid of lizards, go touch a lizard for once in your life, and that is going to change it after all. And there are so many ways in which you can overcome fear. Talk about it. Talk about it to someone who you trust the most. There's nothing in world which can't be overcome, so there are so many methods you can adopt, but the first and foremost thing is just accepting the fact that fear is an illusion and moving ahead with all your dreams. That is the primary way to get rid of fear, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sharana, first of all, I like the way you started,
Thank you, sir.
and also pointing at the jury directly, for which you got a reward at the end.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, success.
Yeah.
Fear. I mean, I broke my fear and I spoke to you.
Yes,
Look, I got
that's
the
good.
reward.
Thank you. I think that was wonderful, because any activity that you do which is different from others actually makes you different. Okay.
That's true.
So the question was about fear and the kind of negativity that goes in our mind, right? Fear, in my perspective, I thought fear is anticipation of pain. Because normally it is not, it is an illusion, it doesn't exist. So it happens to all of us. Like all the people here have some fear or other. So one thought that came to me was, whenever you are afraid of something, because that comes to your emotion, correct? Because the moment
Yes.
your emotions are stuck, your actions are different.
That is true.
So whenever you have fear, one advice is just tell yourself, thank you for the advice and do what you want to do. Thank you for the advice. So whenever a fear comes, just say thank you very much, but do what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
This is something that I heard in one of the speeches of a student. That's why I'm repeating to you. So
Yes,
maybe that is one thing that is there. Okay. Secondly, your language, I think, was really good. I like the way you correlated and put it together.
Thank you, sir.
And talking about the perspectives that people have made me a lot of, looked very nice from your perspective, right? I wanted to ask a question on behalf of the youth here.
Yes, sir.
Ladies of your community don't speak much, isn't it? So
Yes, sir.
what is the advice you will give? Like, when people speak, like Mala,
Malala Yousafzai.
she is doing an amazing job. If more and more people speak up your points, I think it will make a wonderful thing. So what advice would you give to
Yes,
the
sir.
women here?
Yes, sir. To the women of my community alone or
Not
generally?
general.
Yes, sir. So the point is that women are always trained to believe that they are something which should be protected, something which should be suppressed, and something which should be within the four walls of the room. The truth is that, just compare yourself to the sunlight. Even when if it is surrounded or rather covered by 1,000 dark clouds, it doesn't fail to light up the globe when it's morning. That is exactly what women are supposed to do. We were not born to equalize men. We were born to do things which they couldn't do, which they can't do. So my advice is that never confine yourself to the walls, because there is so much potential in us. We are the personification of mercy, the personification of patience and all sort of soft feelings in the world. And simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So these simple feelings within us can create huge changes in the world. There is nothing which cannot be cured by the touch of a woman, I believe. And we are asked to cover ourselves up. It means that you just cover your head and your body and not your mind. That is what I'm trying to tell you. When it comes to a cloak or when it comes to covering yourself up, remember there's nothing which can cover your soul, or there's nothing which can hold back your spirits from achieving what you want to do. Fight for your dreams and you definitely will find a way out. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Sharana.
Thank you,
Of course,
sir.
you overcome your fear of coming last. That's very good. And you made the entire audience look at you the initial 1 or 2 minutes. Good speech.
Thank
All
you,
the
sir.
best.
Thank you.
Salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
As some of the jury members said, I think it is not common or easy at your age group to start the way you started. Even in the corporate world, most of them do lack presentation skills. That was extraordinary.
Thank you, sir.
And similar to what I said to Vijay, I think I just want to know your year. Which year are you studying?
Second year of computer science.
Second year. I think what I said to him, you are on a certain different plane as compared to
Thank you,
others.
sir.
That's the only clarification I wanted to seek.
Yes,
Nothing
sir.
else. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are not having any support. The twine support la da
இந்த ஸ்டீல் ரோப் இருக்குல்ல, இந்த ரோப் வந்து ஸ்டெயின்லெஸ் ஸ்டீல் ரோப் சார்.
இல்ல ரோப் ஒரு பக்கம் ஒன்று பேஸ் வெஹிக்கிள் போகிறதுக்கு கரெக்டாக இருக்கணும்.
இதில் 3 டைப்ஸ் இருக்குது சார் உங்கள்கிட்ட. இந்த ரோப் ஒன்று சார். இன்னொன்று வந்து இந்த இடத்துல வந்து என்ஜின் வச்சு ரொட்டேட் பண்ணி ஈஸியாக வந்து கீழே வெஹிக்கிள் அதாவது சடனாக கீழே டவுன் ஆகாமல் இதே ரோப் பாபிக்ஸ் மூலியமாக கொண்டு வந்து
வெஹிக்கிள் இது பேசேஜ் இருக்குது. இதில் 4 வெஹிக்கிள் வருது. இது ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு கெப்பாசிட்டி இருக்குமா? மூவிங் இருக்கிறதுனால கேட்குறேன்.
மூவிங் இருக்கா சார்? கீழே வந்து சப்போர்ட் அதாவது நார்மலாக இந்த இடத்துல வந்து நம்ம சப்போர்ட்
ரயிலில் இப்போ வந்து போட்டிருக்காங்க ஒரு மாதிரி லாக் இங்கே போடுவீங்களா?
கீழே லாக்
குட் லாக் இருக்கா? லாக் பிளான் டிசைனில் இருக்கு.
டிராவ் பார்த்தீங்க சார். டிராவில்
குட் அதர்வைஸ் அப் டவுன் இருக்கும்.
இந்த இடத்துல இருக்கும் சார். நார்மலாக இது போகும்போது இப்படி போய் ஸ்டெப்பாக நின்று சார். தென் லாக் ஆகும்போது இது வந்து இப்படி வந்து பிடிச்சிக்குது சார் கரெக்டாக. சப்போர்ட் வந்து இந்த இடத்துல ஸ்லைடாக இருக்கும் சப்போர்ட். ஈஸியாக வந்து பிடிச்சிக்கணும்.
ஒரே ஒரு
இன்னொரு பெனிஃபிட்னா ஷிப்பில் ஹரிசானலாகவும் வெர்டிகலாகவும் எந்த ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமே இல்லாமல் ஃப்ரீயாக போயிட்டுருக்கலாம். ஹைட்ராலிக் இருக்குது, ரோலிங் இருக்குது சார். ஆனால் ஸ்லைடிங் எங்கேயுமே இல்லை சார். இது இன்னோவேட்டிவ் சர்ச் பண்ண வரையும் புரியல சார்.
வாட் இஸ் அட்வான்டேஜ்? இப்போ ஏற்கனவே கவர்மெண்ட் இதில் அங்கே ரோடும் இருக்கு இல்லையா? இனிஷியல் ஷிப் வந்து ட்ரெயின் ரயில்வே ட்ராக் மட்டும் இருந்துச்சு. லேட்டர் பாயிண்ட் ஆஃப் டைம் இப்போ ரோடு இருக்குது. ரைட். இப்போ அதை இதையும் கம்பேர் பண்ணால் இது பெட்டர்.
இது ஈஸியாக வந்து நம்ம ஸ்பேஸ் அதிகமாக இருக்கிற இது ஹார்பரில் மட்டும் தான் யூஸ் பண்ண
See, put your thought process into the good idea. Idea is good. We appreciate the idea. In terms of reality, you study the various bridges. The project is good. Study the bridge. வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா sea link, Bandra sea link, Bombay, Worli sea link, how they made. Looking at that, as you rightly said, form பண்ணிருக்கு. அது மாதிரி வேற கண்ட்ரியில். So what is the advantage of a sliding? What is the advantage of a lifting? பார்க்கணும். Because you need to have all the time locking the parent should not go. இந்த பக்கம் ரோட் நிறைய வந்துச்சு, இந்த பக்கம் ரோட் நிறைய வந்துச்சு.
மேக்னெட்டிக் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் மேக்னெட்டிக் ப்ரோபோல்
all the study you should have done. உங்க picture எல்லாம் போட்டீங்கன்னா
Government road bridges, yeah. Wherein you will be having complete support throughout. Only reason why ship could able to sail is this level is high.
அதாவது கீழே வந்து சப்போர்ட் இருக்கும் சார். ஸ்பேன் இருக்காது நமக்கு பெரிய ஸ்பேன்.
That's correct. The ship could able to sail. I mean the road perspective I mean.
Space.
Because space is more. Right? Cost may be, that is what. That cost also you have to put on. I mean, which is advantage. The Bomban bridge, equivalent if you want to propose a bridge
like this,
like Bomban, right? With this current model, you have to look at one is cost perspective. It will be advantage. Okay, since it is we are able to do in a less height itself, correct? This whole area under you can reduce.
ஓப்பன் டைப்னா லோடு வந்து எல்லாமே ஒரே இடத்துல ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும். இது வந்து ஈக்குவலாக டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட் ஆகும் சார்.
ஃபுல்லாக இதில்
ரெண்டு சைடில் ஓப்பன் ஆகலாம். ஒரு
so you talk about advantages. We also say about the limitations. A lot of limitations in sliding. See, in an open type, you are just going to open. I'm talking in bulls or devils. In the sliding, you need to keep the sliding part always keep clean. Correct, Alia?
Sir.
If there is not clean, what will happen? If the slides are not good, are not changed, or they lift vertical, sliding. Yes, liftman is here. Huh? So good idea. Definitely you can work on it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Foldable mic. Hold it first and then. What is the weight of the bike? 50 kg. Did you check the weight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good one. Enough, sir. So you can fold it. So you can talk with less space. Then what is the mileage?
Mileage 42 is okay.
42. What will it? Suppose you get an order.
80cc engine with that big, so
80cc. What will be the total cost, manufacturing cost?
12,000
For your investment.
Yes, sir.
So if you give a mass production, how much cost it can come? No, I want mass production 10,000 numbers. What is the cost can come? No, you have spent 12,000 rupees then, right? Everything, including engine.
ஒன்று செய்தால் 12 10,000 குறையும்.
எவ்வளோ வரும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க? You need to market your product. How much? 10,000. Have you estimated the cost of each part? What is the total number of parts available?
10 parts, 8 parts.
10 na?
Main component team plastics. Absorbers and engine parts.
Just only 10 major parts you are talking, or I am talking the total number of parts. What are, that's what is very important. You got even bolts, nuts, engine cap, the petrol tank cap, all these put together, the number of parts. That is what you should study. The cost of the bike is 12,000 is including that. Am I right? Bike engine you have put. Two-stroke bike engine.
Smoke and all is there.
Petrol.
Smoke compared to the 4-stroke engine.
Petrol engine.
இதே அடுத்து நீங்கள் டெவலப் பண்ண வச்ச ரினியூவபிள் எனர்ஜியில் ட்ரை பண்ணலாமே.
Sir, electric solar teacher.
அதுதான் அப்படி பார்க்கலாம்.
Good, you can participate the Baja. This is, I think, Baja competition, something and all. You can give ideas. This can be converted into an automobile car level. And a lot of ideas are there in WhatsApp. This, of course, I also see somewhere earlier the foldable bike. Somebody carries some of those. You have seen? Foldable. Very simple one.
There's a maximum speed at this.
Maximum according to the engine speed is 60 HP.
It's pretty.
Yes, sir.
License நீங்க 50 cc கிட்ட போனா லைசென்ஸ் தான் 80 cc போட்டுங்க. No, good idea. Concepts are good. Foldable is required because of space constraint. Think further to modify, further to improve the performance. Mileage எவ்வளவு கொடுக்கணும்? Mileage எவ்வளவு கொடுக்கணும்?
Around 50,000.
All the data should be. See, I want to market the product. Arasu College can patent it and market the product. Now you should sell to all the people here. They should buy the product. 90 kilometers per liter. Look at that. That is what is the product. All this data you should have. Mind the bike, we should drive the vehicle for 1 liter, the speed, engine. Good idea, good concept. In fact, morning he was impressed.
I thought it was a model. Workable na theriyadu.
So madhyana you work padiraveenga.
Can drive, sir. Can drive.
Yeah, I did not hear. Good idea. Silly challenge.
Yes, silly challenge. So future-ல வந்து 9%க்காக நம்ம வந்து வாய்ஸ் ரெகக்னிஷன் யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஸோ நம்ம இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட்டில் வந்து டிசேபிள் ஹேண்டிகேப் பண்ணிருக்கோம். இது எப்படி இருப்பாங்க சார், நம்ம வீட்டுக்குள்ளே உட்காந்த மாதிரி நம்ம சுவிட்ச் ஆஃப் பண்ணி சுவிட்ச் ஆன் பண்ணுற எந்த ஒரு எலக்ட்ரானிக் ஐடியாஸையும் நம்ம பெரிய ஆப்பாலே கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஸோ இதுக்காக நாங்கள் வந்து ப்ளூடூத் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம், அடினோ போர்டு யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் நாங்கள் எந்தெந்த அவுட் புட் வேணுமோ அந்த அவுட் புட்டில் வந்து கஷ்டம் பண்ணுவோம். இந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் ஏஜ் பர்சன் ப்ளஸ் அவங்களோட முடியாதவங்க அவங்களால ஸோ ஃபேன் வச்சு நம்ம ஃபேன் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம் சார். ரெகுலேட்டர் கொடுத்துட்டோம்னா நம்ம இவ்வளோ ஸ்பீட் இருக்கணும். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி வாங்கிக்கலாம் சார். ஸோ இதில் நான் வந்து இன்புட் மட்டும் தான் கொடுக்கலாம். ஸோ இங்கேருந்து நமக்கு அவுட்புட் தேவை அப்படின்னா நம்ம ஒரு சென்சாரை கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா ஸோ ஒரு இடத்துல ஃப்ளேம் ஆடிச்சு தப்பிதுன்னா நம்மளுக்கு இந்த ரூமில் இந்த இடத்துல ஃப்ளேம் ஆடிச்சுன்னு காட்டும். ப்ளஸ் வந்து இந்த ஏசியில் வந்து 16 டிகிரி தான் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னா ஸோ 16 டிகிரி இங்கே இருக்குது, ஸோ 17 டிகிரி இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிற போது நமக்கு டிடெக்ட் ஆகிடும் சார். சூப்பர். ஓகே சார். இது வந்து நம்ம பேசிக்காக நான் 30 மீட்டர் வச்சு தான் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ அதுக்கு தான் நம்ம வீடியோ மேக்ஸிமம் இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு பில்டிங்கே கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணணும். ஸோ ஃபுல்லாக நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அந்த ஆட்டோமேஷனாக வேணும் அப்படின்னா ஒய்ஃபை கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஸோ ஒய்ஃபை மாடல் இருக்குது. ஸோ இதுதான் சார் அந்த மாதிரி.
இது ப்ளூடூத் மாடல் சார். ஸோ இதோட ரேடியஸ் வந்து நம்ம 10 மீட்டர் இருக்கும். ஓகே, ஒய்ஃபைனா வந்து நம்ம அரௌண்ட் வந்து நம்ம ஒய்ஃபை நம்ம இன்டர்நெட் கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டோம்னா ஸோ இன்டர்நெட் ஓவர் இந்த வேர்ல்டு ஓவர் இங்கேருந்து நான் அக்சஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம் சார். இங்கே ப்ளூடூத் இங்கே சார், இங்கே ப்ளூடூத் இங்கே இருக்குது. ஸோ ப்ளூடூத் போது 30 மீட்டர்ஸ் வரைக்கும் நம்ம சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலாம். இது 30 மீட்டர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருவோம். ஸோ அங்கேருந்து அரையில் போட்டு போகுது.
Have you read there are some equipment which can be operated through Wi-Fi? நம்ம வீட்டில் your oven, இதெல்லாம் வீட்டிலே நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு வர ஈவன் த்ரூ மொபைல்
நம்ம ஆப்பில் நம்ம பண்ணிக்கலாம் சார்.
இப்போ வந்துருக்கு
வந்திருக்கா சார்? ஆமாம் சார், நம்ம சிங்க்ரனைஸ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டில் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பிரபலமாகல. ஸோ அதனால இந்த கான்செப்ட் வந்துருக்கும். ப்ளஸ் வந்து ஃபியூச்சரில் வந்து இப்படி பண்ணலாம். அந்த பேசிக்காக பண்ணது வந்து டிசேபிள் பர்சன்ட். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு பேசிக்கலி சார்ஜ் குட் ஃபார் பிளைண்ட் பர்சன்ஸ் நம்ம ஃபியூச்சர். ஸோ ஆர்டினோ ப்ரோக்ராமிங், அந்த ஆர்டினோ நாங்கள் சாஃப்ட்வேர் யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஆர்டினோ சாஃப்ட்வேர்லாம் நாங்கள் ஜாவா யூஸ் பண்ணி தான் கோடிங் போட்டுருக்கோம். ஸோ அதுக்காக நாங்கள் வந்து அந்த இது பண்ணியிருக்கோம் சார், ஆப்ரேட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஸோ அந்த ஆப் வந்து நாங்கள் எக்ஸாம்பிள்லி இப்போ ஜாவாலையும் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் அந்த ஆப்பை. அதுவும் இல்லாமல் சார் இப்போ நான் இதுலேருந்து கொடுக்குறது வந்து 5 வோல்ட் தான் முடியும். சும்மா சாதா எல்இடி கொடுக்குறதுனா போயிருக்கோம். அந்த பெரிய பெரிய பில்டிங் ஃபெசிலிட்டி கொடுத்து டேரக்டாக ஸோ அப்போ வந்து ஷார்ட் சர்வீஸ் வந்து ஸோ நம்மளுக்கு இது ஒரு வீட்டுக்கு இப்போ நாங்கள் பண்ண 1000 பேர் முடிச்சு நம்ம ஒரு வீட்டுக்கு பண்ணோம் 7000 முடிச்சு. ஸோ பெரிய பில்டிங்க்கு நம்ம நம்ம காலேஜ் பில்டிங்க்கு பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னா 50,000 முடிக்கலாம் சொல்லுவோம். ஆமாம் சார். ஸோ இதில் தான் செக்யூரிட்டி சிஸ்டம் எப்படி
அப்போ அது பண்ணுறேன் இங்கேருந்து ஒரு ஆப்ரேட் பண்ணலாம். டுடே குட் ஐடியா, கான்செப்ட் இஸ் குட் ஃப்ரம் த ரூரல். You should think of marketing, selling, இந்த மாதிரி ஐடியாலாம் இப்போ ரூரல் எல்லாரும் பவர் எதிர்பார்க்குறாங்க. ஆடியெல்லாம் ஆஃப் வாட்ஸ் அருண் டெல்லர் ஜாமர் போட்டால் முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. ரொம்ப டேஞ்சரஸ்
அந்த ரேடியோ ஃப்ரீக்வன்சி வந்து என்ன பண்ணுறோம்னா ஒரு மொபைல் ஐடென்டிஃபைட் ஆக்டிவேட், அதாவது நம்ம கால் பண்ணும்போது அந்த நெட்டு ஆனில் இருக்கும் ஃபஸ்ட்டு, இல்லை ஒரு மெசேஜ் பாஸ் பண்ணும்போது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக இது வந்து பர்சன் சவுண்ட் பண்ணலாம். ஜஸ்ட் கஸ்டமர் கேர் நம்பர் கால் பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ கஸ்டமர் கேர் நம்பர் கால் பண்ணி ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக ஸோ இதில் வந்துட்டு இப்போ சிலிண்டர் சர்க்கியூட் வந்து என்ன பண்ணலாம், வித்தின் ஒரு 15 சென்டிமீட்டர்
கேன் பி எக்ஸ்பென்சிவ்.
இட் கேன் பி இப்போ ரெஜிஸ்டர் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக இந்த சர்க்கியூட்
யார் பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு
யார் பண்ணுறாங்கிறது இதுதான். இந்த 313 ஐசி யூஸ் பண்ணோம்னா அவங்க நம்பர் முதற்கொண்டு நம்மளால கெட் பண்ண முடியும் சார்.
யாரோ பண்ணுறாங்கன்னு
இப்போ நம்பர் போட்ட மாதிரி
3130 ஐசிக்கு பதிலாக 710 ஐசி யூஸ் பண்ணோம்னா அவங்க என்ன ஐசி நம்பர் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க, அவங்க என்ன
நம்பர் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க, அதுதான் போலீஸ் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறாங்க.
படி ஒரு காயில் சுற்றி மேக்னெட் ஃபீல்டு ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆகும்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அதே மட்டும் ஃபேரடே என்ன சொல்லியிருக்காங்கன்னா மேக்னெட் ஃபீல்டை வந்து கரண்டாக ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். எப்படின்னா ஒரு சார்ஜ் வந்து மேக்னெட் ஃபீல்டை அப்போஸ் பண்ணால் ப்ரொடியூஸ் ஆக முடியும். இதை வந்து நம்ம எப்படி எரியும்னா மேக்னெட் ஃபீல்டு இதை படம் போடி இஎம்எஃப் வந்து அந்த லைட்டுக்குள்ளே கிரியேட் ஆகுது சார். அதனால எரியுது சார். அதாவது இது வந்து சிஎஃப்எல்க்கு பல்புக்கு மட்டும்தான் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். ஏன்னா இது வந்து டியூன்டு சர்க்யூட் வந்து ரெசோனன்ட் டிரான்ஸ்ஃபார்மரில் வரும் சார். டியூன்டு சர்க்யூட் வந்து சிஎஃப்எல் மட்டும்தான் எரிய வைக்க முடியும், வேறு எதையும் எரிய வைக்க முடியாது சார். இப்போ வந்து ஃபியூச்சராக நிறைய ஆட்டோமொபைல் வந்து எலக்ட்ரிக் வெஹிக்கிள்ஸ் தான் பயன்படுத்திட்டு இருக்காங்க. இது எலக்ட்ரிக் வெஹிக்கிள்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணி டெஸ்லா டர்பைன் மூலமாக காரை ஓட வைக்கலாம் சார். அதுக்கு மெயினாக இது யூஸ் ஆகுது. இது வந்து இன்புட், இது வந்து அவுட்புட் சார். இது மூலமாக நமக்கு எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் ஃபுல்லாக ஃப்ளோ ஆகும். அதாவது இப்போ வந்து என்னோட ஐடியா என்னன்னா, நாங்கள் இன்னும் ஒரு இப்போலாம் செகண்ட் இயர் சார், தேர்ட் இயரில் ஒரு கார் நியூவாக புதுசாக ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணி அது வந்து இது மூலமாக டெஸ்லா டர்பைன் ஒன்று இருக்குது சார். அந்த டர்பைனை இது மூலமாக டர்பைனை ஓட வச்சு காரை ஓட வைக்கலான்னு என்னோட ஐடியா. தேங்க்யூ சார், தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச்.
குட். பாஜார் உங்கள் வண்டியில் மாதிரி இந்த ரைட்டு தான் போன சைடு ட்ரிபிள்
waste products, these in mobile, this is a plastic but not
All of them are here. I will just use it. Right?
It's a value from waste.
Wealth from waste.
So I will copy the house and add new. Change the tool.
Change from vacuum cleaner to air cooler. Put a motor inside.
Yes, sir. Using it.
When you cut the bottom, this portion you cut it.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Good. So make it more big and dense. Good.
DC motor, sir.
Switch back.
DC motor is simple operate எப்படி ஆகும் சிம்பிளாக பர்மனன்ட் மேக்னெட் சார் இந்த ஃபீல்ட் ஹோல்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு சேஃப்டி பண்ணால் சூப்பராக நீங்கள் ஆர்கனைஸ் சார் ஆர்கனைஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து கால் எனர்ஜி சார் இதில் வந்து மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டை ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணும் சார் ஃப்ளெக்ஸை ஒன்றும் ஆர்கனைஸ் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக் ரொட்டேட் ஆகும் ட்ராக்ஷனில் வந்துட்டு யூஸ் பண்ணுறது ஹெவியான காயில் சொல்லலாம் ட்ரெயினை ஃபாஸ்ட்டு ரொம்ப மூவ் ஆகுது சார் இப்போ பாருலாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க ரொம்ப ஹை ஸ்பீட் ட்ரெயினாக யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க இதே வைக்கிள்ஸ் வந்து நம்ம கம்மி பண்ணோம் ட்ரெயின் இன்னும் ஸ்பீடு அதிகரிக்கும்
Railway, magnetic traction. Now ours is rolling. It will be moving. Japan bullet. Speed. Very good. What maximum speed வரைக்கும் போகலாம் எவ்வளோ போகும் 300 kilometers. So இந்தியாவில் சான்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு
ஐடியா சார்
இல்லை குட் ஐடியா இருக்கும் இந்த புல்லட் ட்ரெயின் பேசிட்டு இருக்காங்கப்பா அதுக்கிட்ட ரொம்ப எவ்வளோ சூப்பர் திஸ் இஸ்
So by rotating this solar panel, the light intensity will be passing through this solar panel. So when the intensity varies, we will get an alternating current.
Where this current can use for lighting, what is advantage of current?
We can use in any large application. This is just for a lab.
Large application means I'm a layman in EC.
We can use it in home, in your office too we can use it without using it.
You are in second year. So you will prefer to go for IT job or EC job? EC job. Good.
using our smart robot, sir. It can survey with any surface, sir. Okay. Which means all surface running robot. Example,
right?
Yes, sir. It can go in any place, sir. Example, it will be you can see on video, sir. Oh. Even water also can survive, sir. The PVC types of
You would have given this idea over 5-6 years, put the Mars lip here. What is the inside you are putting back?
DC motor, sir. Gear motor.
Gear motors.
Controlled
by?
Nothing, sir. We battery input.
And the battery pets and
Yes, sir. We have to change that.
good small toy rope.
Sir, you have to serve the master and own lamp.
They can send inside. They can put a camera to them, they can study.
Military purpose, forest area.
Put some camera into that and see. Good, all the best to all of you. Good job.